hundreds of QAnon followers gather on Dealey Plaza in Dallas today, anticipating an appearance by John F. Kennedy Jr., who died in a 1999 plane crash. These folks, get through this nonsense once it, let's see, try and blow this up a little bit. I don't care. Keep going. Play. Can't move this thing? There we go. So these are the folks. Look how many of these assholes. And 12/29 is when he was supposed to arrive. Surprise, he didn't. They are now saying he will be at the Rolling Stones concert in Dallas that night. And he's going to introduce the band. Oh, boy. And they end up singing the Star Spangled Banner at one point. And they're just waiting for him to go by. That's the whole thing. For the most part. So the interesting thing is, like, how the fuck do you end up with that kind of ridiculous nonsense in your head? Well, it's because of documentaries like this one. I'm not going to do all of this. It's about 30 minutes, but I want to show you this guy. This is a video put up. EBS and military tribunals, Q's sting of the century, Trump's trap, the law of war. And so this is a dude who calls himself Christian Patriot News, and which is just hilarious. But he posted this clip from this documentary, and I check in on some of this stuff every so often, as you do. And I need you listen to how like dead inside this dude sounds.
Political establishment with a new government controlled by you, the American people.
As we saw in part 9 of this series, the first US Constitution was illegally suspended in favor of a Vatican Crown corporation in 1871.
In 1871, and by the way, I am a true American patriot, as you might expect.
Since 1871, the United States President and the United States Congress have been playing politics under a different set of rules and policies.
This is the idea, by the way, just where they got the idea, the kind of material where they get the idea that the U.S. government ended in 1871, and now the incorporated United States, that was the end of America as they knew it, and this would be the new. And so Trump is going to be the 18th president or some shit.
The American people do not know that there are two constitutions in the United States.
Anybody else craving some Sebastian Gorka? There is some. I'll save some for tomorrow, though.
The first penned by the leaders of the newly independent states of the United States.
By the way, that flag graphic right now, if you'll recognize that is the background that I have used for Karen LaKaren's show on when she got her Fox News show filling in for Tucker Carlson. That's a YouTube video that just shows a waving flag for like 9 hours. Fox uses it all the time. It's free. It's up all the time, and I used it as a background. Yeah.
1776. On July 4th, 1776, the people of the United States claimed that...
What is the United States? It's the United States of America. We're joined under the Constitution of the United States. We're a constitutional republic. It operates as a democracy. But I'm sure you have a different answer.
Independence from the crown, which is the temporal authority of the Roman Catholic Pope. And for 95 years...
By the way, that's the idea that the temporal authority. So the Catholic Church owns you after you die, but the British royal family owns your time on Earth.
The United States people were free and independent. That freedom ended in 1871 when the original Constitution for the United States for America was changed to the Constitution of the United States of America, written in all
huge difference.
Capitals. The Congress realized that the country was in dire...
The Trinity of globalist control: Vatican City, City of London, Washington, D.C., religion, finance, military. All three are separate states, completely independent of their respective countries. So basically, it's a one-world government already.
Financial straits. So they made a financial deal with the devil, the Crown Corporation,
And by the way, that's the devil's penis, just in case you were wondering. He naps right under the Lincoln Memorial and always sleeps on his back.
The City of London Corporation, which was established by the Catholic Church on...
Oh my God, they all have an obelisk. It's almost as if it was a sign of the times. And by the way, this dude is boring as fuck.
January 1st, 1855.
By the way, he puts in a lot of mouse clicks at the beginning of his edits to make it look like this is live. I don't know why. London, city of thieves, city of sin that we grew up in, London. I think this is the Captain America theme. He's just ripping this off.
So this meant that they would now be incurring a debt to the Pope. The conniving Pope and
that can only be paid in baby milkshakes.
his bankers were not about to lend the floundering nation any monies without some serious stipulation.
Yes, you heard that right. The Flandering nation. Our true king is Ned Flanders from The Simpsons.
So they devised a way of taking back...
Oh, hi. Oh, look at that. Thank you very much. Love you. Hi. How you doing? What's that? Yeah? I have no doubt. I'll be right along in a moment. Yes. Thank you. My girl brought me a smoothie. Isn't that nice? Look at that. Muscle smoothie. Wait a minute. This tastes like Pope. Thud.
Control of the United
Thanks,
States,
Renee.
and thus the Act of 1871 was passed. With no constitutional authority to do so, Congress created a separate form of government for the District of Columbia. With the passage
Jesus Christ. I'm worried this dude's going to make a move on me. This is like Roofies the movie.
Act of 1871, a city-state, a state within a state, called the District of Columbia, located on 10 square miles of land in the heart of Washington.
Yes, we know, because you can't have a capital that's at the effect of one of the states. It has to be its own proprietary area, dickhead, because if it's got... This is why DC will never get statehood. He's doing Cosby. Oh, no.
Was formed with its own flag and its own independent constitution. The United States' secret second constitution.
Yeah, which is only functional in purple areas. Guys, this has got to be true. He took a picture of the text via the activation of the United States Corporation operates under private international law with their own corporate constitution. Oh, dear. The name of the game, the three-city empire. Separate sovereign states or private corporate empires function outside the jurisdiction of the countries they reside in, having their own flags, laws, police, and news services. Yeah, that's why inside the Beltway and outside the Beltway. DC controls the military. It's a sister city of London. The Revolutionary War was just all phooey.
The flag of Washington's District of Columbia has 3 red stars, each symbolizing a city-state within the 3-city empire.
No, actually it stands for the 3 Blue Lodge degrees of Freemasonry. Prove me wrong.
The 3-city empire consists of Washington, D.C., where the D.C. stands for the District of Columbia, the City of London Corporation, and the Vatican City State. City of London Corporation is the corporate center of the 3 city-states and controls the world economically.
That's why we all use pounds and... Oh, wait.
Washington, D.C. is in charge of the military, and the Vatican controls it all under the guise of spiritual guidance. Although geographically separate,
That's why Joe Biden is a Catholic.
the city-states...
Oh, indeed, Greg Kelly fears me. Get used to it. Oh, this is very serious,
the City of
guys.
London Corporation, the Vatican...
This is like This is like zeitgeist for people who have water on the brain.
The District of Columbia are one in...
By the way, the original Washington Monument was meant to be a stabby kind of thing. They just went full butt plug in London because the Pope ordered it.
Fucking empire called the Empire of the City. The Constitution for the District of Columbia operates under tyrannical Vatican law known as Lex Fori, or local law.
How can you have a tyrannical local law?
When Congress illegally passed...
See all these cars coming and going? They only think they're free to move around.
The Act of 1871, it created a corporation known as the United States, and a separate form of government from...
See do you hear the click sound, the old mouse click sound effect? Being enacted by the Senate and House of Representatives of the United States of America and Congress assembled that all that part of the territory of the United States included within the limits of the District of Columbia be and the same is hereby created into a government by the name of the District of Columbia, by which name it is hereby constituted a body corporate for municipal purposes and may contract and be contracted with, sue and be sued, plead and be pleaded, have a seal and exercise all its powers. This is just the DC City Charter. An act to provide a government for the District of Columbia, for DC, for the city. Of course it is. And be it further enacted that the executive power and authority in and over the District of Columbia shall be vested in a governor who shall be appointed by the President by and with the advice and consent of the Senate, who shall hold this office for 4 years until his successor shall be appointed and qualified. The governor shall be a citizen of it, shall be resided within the district 12 months before his appointment. That just means it has special dispensation. It's a city where the seat of the government is, so that they can't just elect a governor from outside the fucking country. This is so fucking stupid.
District of...
Don't give DC statehood. That's bullshit. If you want to slice off half of DC and make it part of Virginia or Maryland, knock yourself the fuck out.
Yeah. This treasonous act has unlawfully allowed the...
This treasonous act is clear to anyone who, whenever they start to read a sentence, gets distracted by a squirrel on their windowsill and loses their entire train of... Where was I?
District of Columbia to operate as a corporation outside of the original Constitution of the United States.
A body corporate for municipal purposes, meaning streets and taxation and being able to fucking pay for stop signs. And when people have a fucking coffee shop, they operate in the normal functioning municipality, dum-dum. Fuck, these guys are idiots.
And in total disregard of the best interests of the American citizens. What did the Act of 1871 achieve? The Act of 1871 put the United States back under the Crown rule, which is Vatican rule.
The fuck are you talking about? Show me that passage, asshole. You can't just put a fucking flag up against the Washington... This is evidence? This is evidence.
The United...
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize there was also horn music. That proves it.
Its people lost their independence in 1871.
Dear God, Thomas Jefferson, it's not his fault.
The Constitution of the United States of America is the Constitution of the Incorporated United States of America. It operates in an economic capacity and has been used to fool the people into thinking it governs the Republic.
No, the city of Washington, D.C. doesn't govern the fucking public, you cuntje.
Capitalization is not insignificant.
By the way, there is no fucking way that Ricky Schroeder hasn't watched this whole goddamn thing.
When one is referring to illegal...
What's with the Vatican? It runs everything, guys. And they're probably secret Jews. You gotta understand. If this doesn't make sense to you, congratulations. You're sane.
Document. This seemingly...
We did it again with the fucking click. Yeah, this is so Lyndon LaRouche. Yes, the Pope has to be a Jew. Look at his hat, right? He's probably George Soros' twin brother. The Act of 1871 also created a separate form of government for the District of Columbia, which is a 10-mile square parcel of land is governed with the British Admiralty law. UCC, Acts of the 44th Congress, had a government for the District of Columbia, British Admiralty law.
Minor alteration has had a major impact on every subsequent generation of Americans.
This isn't from a lunatic pamphlet selling the same bullshit from some dead-ender, like, end of the world cult in 1932 or anything.
Congress did by passing the Act of 1871 was to create an entirely new document.
Fuck is the like dragnet music in the background.
Constitution for the government of the District of Columbia, an incorporated government.
Do we have a copy of this? Common stock in the United States Crown Corporation. Edward merely actually owns the fucking country. It's in like a bond or anything.
Instead of having absolute and unalienable rights guaranteed under the organic constitution, we the people now have relative rights or privileges. Obviously, when I say we the people, I refer to the people of the United States. One example is the sovereign...
Yeah, not some Irish fuck who's written this bullshit.
The people's right to travel, which has now been transformed under corporate government policy into a privilege that requires citizens to be licensed with driver's licenses and passports. Bypassing the act.
No. No, if you want to fucking walk, you don't need a license. If you have a horse, you don't need a license. Ask the Amish. By the way, you don't need a license to take a train either. You made the money, you got the money, pay for your fucking ticket, get on the goddamn train. You need a license to operate a car because it's a deadly vehicle. It's 6,000 pounds of metal and plastic and fuel.
Of 1871, Congress committed treason against the people who were sovereign under the grants and decrees of the Declaration of Independence and the organic constitution.
Oh dear fucking God. We should string those people up. Oh, they're long dead shit.
The Act of 1871 became the...
Thank you, Diana, for the super chat, by the way. Love that Greta dropped an F-bomb on Holds Cop 26. Nice. Thanks, High Plains Drifter. Thank you, Mariah.
For all treason since committed by government officials. As of 1871, the United States isn't a country, it's a corporation. In preparation for stealing America, the puppets of Roman Catholic popes banking Cabal had already created a second government. A shadow government designed to manage what the people believed was a democracy, but was really an incorporation.
Which started with fucking Kennedy. Should have never let those bastards in there. 2 Catholics is too many.
United States. The exposure of this deep state cabal and its operations must now become a...
There it is. Deep state cabal. Jesus. How do they survive this shit without being bored shitless?
Primary duty of...
Not doing much more of this.
Citizens who still believe in the rule of law and the freedoms which the United States is supposed to represent. Another thing to consider when we are looking at this
case number, United States Corporation Company, Florida Northern Bankruptcy Court. This is the idea, by the way, that Donald Trump declared bankruptcy on the United States Corporation last year, and therefore that's what's turned us into back to the pre-1871 rule. This is the key piece of evidence.
Of play with the deep state cabal is that it looks like the USA Corporation filed for bankruptcy in the courts in Florida in 2020.
Because that's where you do it. Yeah, you'd file in Tallahassee.
Is the United States now a constitutional republic? Is it no longer a corporation?
Doing business as China Telech Holding? And doing business as China Telecom America Corporation. Oh, we got bought by China, obviously, and then they declared bankruptcy. What?
But the globalists don't want you to know it.
What now?
Has President Trump...
Hold on. You can't just scroll. You can't make a fucking click and then scroll the White House, Washington. May 4, 2020. This is on yellow paper, so it's got to be real. It was written a long time ago. U.S. federal person Roger Allen Moore, Raj Amexam Moore Raphael, taxpayer identification, descendant, social security number 1265623. What? See, the United States Department of the Treasury, Internal Revenue Service, Forms 24, power of attorney, declaration represent 56, note sent United States Postal Services to whomever United States business entity this may concern, who commercially operates on United States public markets and accepts or exchanges in the United States currency while providing goods and or services in the U.S. consumers in everyday commerce. The above-mentioned U.S. federal public person has a prepaid, non-obligatory commercial debt obligation arrangement with the United States in relation to 12 U.S. Code, something, gold, of transactions in foreign exchange of gold and silver, property transfers, vested interest, enforcement penalties, and other penalties. Your business entity is federally bound to the United States and the U.S. public debt obligations by way of our Internal Revenue Service employer identification number, IRS being under the Department, and your Federal Reserve Bank. Who? What? Yeah. Some asshole get a letter because he didn't think he had to pay taxes? Is that what it is?
Officially killed the deep state.
Donald Trump officially killed the deep state.
As president.
Oh, signed by Donald Trump. I'm sure this is legit, by the way. And retain the record of transactions settled with your federal tax obligation with the internal residents, and the entire overall transaction is only a commercial accounting matter of what the bankrupt United States owes its true creditors, which is the American people, in direct relation to the Borrowed Gold and National Banking Emergency Act of 1933, all commercial public debt obligations while transacting all businesses within the United States commercial markets belong to the United States, as the United States is the true obliger of each and every U.S. commercial transaction. Any willful dishonoring and or non-settlement of United States commercial public debt obligation matters by any duly bound commercial business entity within the United States will result in federal prosecution to the fullest extent possible. Sincerely, Donald Trump.
Of the United States of America, the globalist corporation defined his position as the chief executive officer. So he theoretically...
Peninsula Corporation, corporate head of street. Registered agent in the United States Corporation Company.
We could have organized to ensure that bankruptcy documents were submitted.
Oh, all corporations in the United States are technically United States corporation companies. You're defined as a corporation under the corporate charter of the United States. So this may be the shorthand on it.
Courts to end the...
So the Prentice Hall Corporation System Incorporated, registered agent is a business or individual designated to receive important company like legal notice or summons because they exist as a real corporation. They're a registered corporation. The Prentice Hall Corporation System.
Return the country to a constitutional republic and back to the people. Is the United States corporation bankrupt and has it now been dissolved?
Yeah, that's what it means. United States Bankruptcy Court means that all these have to do with the fact that the U.S. is bankrupt.
If it has, then Biden is just the administrator, the CEO of a defunct corporation, and
United States Corporation Company, organization name, domestic prop. I don't even know where this fucking
is the leader of the new republic. If we look at these documents on screen, it really does add some credence to the potential that the USA corporation has now been dissolved and was declared bankrupt.
No, it doesn't.
Collagen sales have been surging for the past 2 years.
Yes, and this is what they do. So just so you know, this is this asshole showing this clip of this thing. Yeah, this is basically a stack of what the Q folks believe and what they think has happened. That Trump is going to, all the people who are waiting in Dealey Plaza, it's all related to this stuff. I'm not going to sell this dude's fucking product for him. This is all, there it is. This is the plan under the authority. This is what they believe is going to happen, that the military is going to take over. And then, I don't know, some blah, blah, blah with Kavanaugh, and then the trees will be free, and then we'll all live to piss in the universe, under the blue skies of God, in the Great Awakening. So there's the Great Awakening thing. Christian Page, there you go. What the fuck is he talking about during in the
this
woods?
This individual tells me that nobody can come to you unless your spirit draws them. Father, I pray that your spirit
Oh, he's just praying. I see. He's just doing Christian postcard shit.
With Nazi saboteurs were tried by the military. Is that correct?
That is correct.
I think a couple of them were executed.
Yeah.
So if anybody doubts, there's a long-standing history in this country that your constitutional rights follow you wherever you go, but you don't have constitutional right to turn on your own government, collaborate with the enemy of the nation. You'll be treated differently. What's the name of the case, if you can recall,
This is the old, like, you don't have any rights. Apparently your rights end whenever they decide. Of course, that decision point is when you attack people. It's like you don't have the right. You don't have any rights in this country. You want to think you got rights? Murder somebody. See how many rights you have then. That's basically the case they're making. Yeah, this is the whole thing. So this is based on the idea why these folks were in Dealey Plaza, because they believe that the U.S. Constitution ended in 1871. Became a corporation. Biden's just the CEO of America. He doesn't qualify. He's not even allowed in the White House. Trump was the real president, and he will be again because he bankrupted the United States while he was in there, which is the closest thing to a truth that they've said in there in many ways. He did spend a shit ton of money. But ultimately, he's going to end up... oh, look at that. That's weird. Hold on real quick. Looks like McAuliffe's winning Loudoun County, which is interesting because that was the one that everybody was saying would be part of it. Right now, it's 55-43 McAuliffe with those folks coming in. We'll see if it bears out. We'll see. But poofing off, right? That this is the argument that this is why these folks showed up in Dealey Plaza, because they think that the U.S. Constitution no longer applies. And that what we're under right now is a corporate agreement overseen by London and the Vatican. Like we say in 1871, we waved some sort of white flag and fell back under the crown for no fucking reason. It's just goofy as shit.